There was a man by the name of John Courier. In 1949, he was accused and convicted of murder and doing other crimes. He was sentenced to life in prison, and he served in prison, and later on he was moved to serve a parole sentence somewhere near Nashville, Tennessee. And he served that sentence for 19 years until in 1968 his sentence was terminated. And so a document that was to declare that he was already free was prepared and sent to him. The bad thing is, it never reached him. So although he was already free, true story po ito, he kept serving as a farm worker in that farm village for many more years. In fact, namatay na lang po the one who was overseeing him, the farmer, already died, but he stayed because he was supposed to serve his sentence. 10 years later, that's in 1978, there was a parole officer in that state in Tennessee who found out about this situation and looked him up, hinanap po siya, and then brought him the message telling him, John, you don't need to work as a farm worker anymore. You don't need to work, as someone who is a criminal, a condemned man, a sentenced person. You are already free. You can go home to your family. You can have a normal life. You are free. And when I was reading that story, sabi ko, grabe, anong nangyari? Bakit 1968, already tapos na ang sentence niya, terminated na ang kanyang sentence, but he had to live for 10 more years as a prisoner. For 10 more years, he had to stay suffering, bound, imprisoned. Instead of enjoying a free, meaningful life with his family and friends and so on, hindi na na-enjoy because though there was good news, the good news never reached him. And this is the message today, that through Jesus Christ, God has reconciled the world to Him. And the word has to go out and reach every single person so that they can know there's freedom, so that they can know there's healing, so that they can know there's an abundant life that's available for them, so they can live the kind of life that God wants them to live. And yet, if we don't tell them, if we don't reach them, they can never find out, and therefore they can continue to live in bondage. And how many people, not out there in Myanmar or Thailand, but around us, family members, friends, colleagues, classmates, board mates, business associates, and so on, they don't know the Lord. They are suffering outside of Christ. They are down and depressed and hopeless. Some of them just killing themselves, some of them throwing their lives away in vices and so on, having no life and no hope, and yet we have the message that can reach them. That's why the title of this message is Why I Must Tell Them.